Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Colleen at crackedfemocode.com. Okay, so today's video, I'm going to include a testimonial from a client from a long time ago. It's a Benev. You may have seen him in some of the testimonials. This is a newer channel, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure if I've ever uploaded the testimonials from any of my clients on this channel yet, so I'm going to start doing that. So here's the deal. Number one, I want to let you guys know something. The number one thing I'm doing here is I want you to be in love. I want you guys to be happy with yourselves, happy with the spouses, the women that you date or in relationships with, because I want you to be loved. Now, there's some challenges out there, and here's the deal. The challenges are you and the way you process communication and the way you communicate. Men, let's cut to the chase, guys. Okay, let's get past the ego, insecure bullshit. Men suck at communication, and I mean fucking suck. Oh my God. But the good news is there's some real solid answers. Now, here's the thing. If you're a good communicator, she's going to want to make love to you. Her mating system is connected to the right brain's communication center. This is why women are always saying, oh, I'm looking for a man who knows how to communicate. She doesn't mean the logical linear way. So one of the things I do when I tell women that I specialize in communication between men and women is I tell them something, because in the beginning they look at me like, oh yeah, right, really, you, a guy? Yeah, sure, heard that before. So here's what I say. I say, no, I'm serious. I go, look, you know how men are very short-sighted? Boom, they look at me like, wait, I think he gets it. You know how men talk in like very, very short sentences or phrases, or if you're lucky. Here's what I tell women. I say, you know how men say like a word or a phrase, or if you're lucky, you get a whole sentence, and they go, oh my God, it's so true. And they look at me like, you really do get it. I'm like, yeah, I really do get it. The difference between men and women, male communication versus female communication, this is just one piece, guys. Men communicate from point A to point B in as short a distance as possible, because the job is to get the job done, because we have to feed our children. It was designed during the caveman era to hunt food, because back then we didn't have 4x4s or shotguns or rifles or stores or storage grains or refrigerators and freezers to keep food. You had to hunt and gather food every single day. So the left male brain was purposely and proudfully and rightfully designed to go, I've got to get from point A to point B and back again. That's it. No screwing around, no dicking around, no fucking around. That's male brain thinking. Because you have to walk an hour, 2 hours, maybe more, to get to the hunting ground or fishing ground or whatever you're going. Then you got to wait patiently for the deer or the prey to walk underneath you when you have a sharpened stick while you're standing on a tree limb, and you're going to jump down and you're going to stab it, and hopefully you stab it successfully and kill it, and therefore you can gut it, clean it, and then carry it back to your family to feed it, to feed your children. That's the job of the male brain, from point A to point B. Unfortunately, this is the wrong brain to use when you're trying to get laid. It's the wrong brain to use for relationships, for love, for romance. The left brain is the work brain, the business brain, the science brain, the math brain. The right brain is the relationship brain. It is the social brain. So if you have social anxiety, anxiety is a left brain aspect, literally. When you learn how to open up to the right brain, your anxiety disappears. It completely goes away. You're like, oh, so all of a sudden you're like, oh, I get it. So when I was communicating in the business brain, the math, science language, they didn't want to hear it because it's irritating. Yeah. The left brain is also the negative brain. It's the negation brain, where it minuses stuff, and nobody likes that. Okay, so let me kind of skip past all that to this. So here's the difference in how men and women communicate. This is just one piece. Men go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You got guy A on the left, guy B on the right. Guy A says blah, blah, blah. Guy B says blah, blah, blah. Guy A, blah, blah, blah. Guy B, blah, blah, blah. Guy A, blah, blah, blah. Guy B, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That is literally, I can video record men talking. This is literally how they talk. You're like, well, what do you mean? Well, the difference is this. Women listen to understand paragraphs, pages, even if necessary, chapters of information and words. One woman will listen and 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 listen to receive all the information so she sees the bigger picture of what the person was trying to paint, to explain. Whereas men, they go blah, 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 and then the other guy takes his turn, and then the other guy takes his turn, and it goes back and forth, and it's like they're fighting. It's like a competition, like, it's my turn, it's my turn, it's my turn, it's my turn. And it's like they constantly interrupt each other. Now, you guys think it's faster, but it's not. The fastest way is to listen to one person for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, and then you have 90+% understanding, and you might have 1 or 2 questions, and boom, conversation done. I have seen men on job sites, in friendships, in school, go over the same exact thing day after day. God damn it, we talked about this yesterday. I said this and this means that. No, I know, blah, 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 and they go back and forth. I've seen guys argue on job sites for fucking weeks, and then finally go, well, why do you say that in the first place? And the first guy's going, I fucking did. I tried, but you kept interrupting me. Now here's one of the tools that men use to think this justifies interruption. Now, this happens between me and my clients, and I'm actually making this because I have a client that I've been working off and on with since last year, and he still can't even hear this. I've said it to him. I've explained it to him. I've broke it down to him. But I figure if I put it in a video, he just might finally hear it. So what I tell men is to listen to understand. Now, you know how Bruce Lee says, empty your mind, be formless, be shapeless, my friend? Because that's power. If your mind is full of thinking, you can't receive anything. But if you empty your mind, you can receive, listen closely, very closely. Here's the first word, fully and completely. Men don't do that. They think. So here's what my client said. He goes, but the reason why I'm interrupting you is I'm trying to let you know that I know what you're talking about. I'm like, but you don't. I haven't even finished what I'm saying yet. But men truly believe, well, if I interrupt you and say, oh, so what you mean is blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and let me give you an example of that, blah, blah, blah. And they're taking you off into another direction. Totally different conversation, totally different direction. And it is frustrating as fucking hell. Now, I can be a dumbass, and I can do the same thing that Bruce Lee did and just leave you with a blank dumbass phrase. I mean, it sounds really cool, though. It really does. Empty your mind. Be formless. Be shapeless, my friend. Be like water. What the fuck does that fucking mean? And more importantly, how do you do that? The way you learn how to do this is there's a series of techniques that I call internal awareness and emotional grounding techniques. When you learn how to do those techniques and practice them enough, you will literally clear your mind, your heart, and your solar plexus. There will be no more thinking. There will be no energy, no emotions flying around. You'll be empty. Like Bruce Lee says, empty your mind. Be formless. Be shapeless, my friend. What it means is to learn how to, and I'm going to use the technique that I taught Adam, shut the fuck up. And literally, we named it shut the fuck up technique because I had to literally, Adam, like he couldn't do this concept. He wouldn't listen. He wouldn't. And I literally screamed out, shut the fuck up. And he goes, wait, you literally mean shut the fuck up? I go, yes, I literally mean don't even think. He goes, oh, I get it. So we both laughed and finally he got it. So the way two men communicate is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They interrupt. They constantly try to, it's my turn. They try to push in and force their way into the conversation. Whereas women, here's the way they communicate. One woman talks and talks and talks and talks for maybe a paragraph, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, maybe even a page or two, maybe even a chapter. And the other woman is empty. There's no thinking. But a client goes, but Mike, the reason why I'm thinking is and then I say something, I want to prove to you that I know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, but you don't. The minute you start thinking is the minute you stopped receiving. The minute you start to think, you stopped receiving their words. Therefore, you're losing, and you're lost. The way women do it is they listen to understand in keyword in completion, in full. They let the person talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk until they're completely done. But what most men do is like, well, yeah, but they stopped. No, they stopped for a half a second to take a fucking breath, and you fucking raced in there, started talking. Stop doing that. It's not a fucking race. It's not a competition. One of the first things I have to do with men is teach them how to slow down, to just fucking stop. Pull over, put the car in neutral, put the parking brake on, and turn the engine off and take the keys out of the ignition. That's how you have a conversation. So here's how women talk. One person talks for paragraphs or more. The other one listens and receives all of the words, all of the information. We find out when you do that, you actually understand a lot faster and a lot quicker in the first conversation. Like sometimes 100%, like, oh, I understand you now. Versus constantly interrupting after 1 or 2, 3 sentences and then interrupting again and again and again. It's like you have all these fragments that when there's no connection, you're like, well, fuck, And then what happens is with women, then it's the other person's time to talk. They can ask questions, they can share their ideas, they can share what they think, the way they perceive it, and then the first person, call them person A, now they listen to understand and receive, and they completely, and I mean this, they completely shut up. Even in their brain, there's no words, there's no thinking, well, this is what I'm going to say next. Don't do that. So both women listen to understand completely in full. Before they even have a thought, before they even think. If you're thinking about what you're going to say next, you completely block communication. Communication is a skill, and the biggest part of communication is learning how to listen to understand. Write this down. Listen to understand. Listen to receive fully before you even have a thought. But Mike, I was thinking of what I was going to say next. Don't do that. But I'm trying to let them know that I understand them. Don't do that. Because it shows you that you don't understand. So I'm having a conversation with this client yesterday, and we are on the verge of him finally understanding the final countdown. He was finally there. And then what he did? He took off into left field. And he started a completely different conversation. And I'm like, what does that have to do with what I'm talking about? He goes, well, aren't you talking about A, B, C, D, E, F, G? I'm like, no, not at all. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. He goes, really? I go, that's not what I'm saying. The way men communicate is exactly like going to the movies. You sit down and you watch the movie for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you get up and go, hey, I want some popcorn. So you get up, you walk down the hall. Go to the popcorn thing, you wait in line maybe for 1 or 2 people, maybe more. You get up, he makes your popcorn, you walk to the cashier, you pay for it, you go back, boom. There's 2 or 3 minutes gone. Then you sit there and you eat your popcorn, you're like, oh shit, man, I'm thirsty now, I gotta get a Coca-Cola. So you get up, you walk out, you walk down the hallway, go over to the thing again, you get a Coca-Cola. Now you walk back. And then a third time, you take a pee. You walk to the bathroom, blah, 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 blah. So now you have all these missing segments of the movie. And at the end of the movie, you're the dumbass going, man, that movie didn't make any sense at all. Gee, I wonder why. So you got to go back and watch it again. And you got to spend more time. And then you do those same things again. You go into the bathroom twice. You got up once or twice for popcorn and candy and Coca-Cola. And got out for a cigarette smoke. And you still didn't understand the movie. That's how men communicate. They don't understand each other. I'll sit there and watch 2 dudes talking at fucking a grocery store or restaurant going, man, they're just constantly interrupting each other. They don't even understand each other. And I'm telling you, because I've been on job sites where I've worked there for years, and you'll see these 2 fucking dudes finally, after weeks of yelling and, God damn it, blah, 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 after 2, 3 weeks, sometimes a month, they're like, well, why didn't you say that in the first place? If you would have listened in the first place, you would have heard it in the first place 4 fucking weeks ago, dumbass. So I'm having this conversation with this client last night, and he's literally, I'm talking 30 seconds from understanding a concept I've been trying to get his brain to understand. And he takes a left fucking turn. And I'm like, no. Oh, fuck. He needed to understand one more concept to put the pieces together. See, right brain communication is you explain one piece of the puzzle in depth, say the carburetor, and then you explain what the carburetor is connected to. You explain that piece in depth, and then you connect the two. And you're like, oh, I get it. This connects to that, and this causes this to do that. And you're like, yeah, that's why. And then you explain how the air filter works, and then how that's connected to the carburetor, and how the carburetor is connected to this, and how that's connected to the engine, how the pistons are connected to the rings, and how this is connected to the spark plugs, and blah, 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 and the spark plug wire, and the ignition, and the starter, and the fucking battery. And all of a sudden you go, oh, I fucking get it now. But if you fucking interrupt, you won't see the connections. And that's the problem with male brain communication, especially when you're trying to understand something. You constantly interrupt because the left brain separates the pieces. The right brain puts them together. That's why men can't understand women, because you guys don't connect the pieces. What I'm attempting to do is get you guys to begin to listen to understand to each piece, and then listen to how they connect. But a lot of you go, oh, I get it, but you don't get it. You don't get it at fucking all. And I'll even tell you, like, look, no, you don't get. I can tell, because I'm a left brain and right brain person. I'm trying to explain the right brain concept. I'm like, yeah, you think it's this left brain thing, but it's not at all. It's a right brain thing, and if you let me explain the rest of it, then you'll see how it's connected. So I've got a video of Benev here where he talks about how I thought I understood. I really thought I understood. Now, I think there's another video with Adam. I'm going to try to find it where he says, trust me, when Mike tells you that you don't understand, you don't understand. See, I'm trying to teach you right brain process, and I've got a video coming up in like 10 seconds or 5 seconds with Benev. And you guys are hearing left brain logic, and you're hearing that. I'm saying A out of my right brain, and you're hearing B out of your left brain. I'm saying A, but you really believe I'm saying B, and I'm like, no, I'm not, that's not what I'm saying. So there's two things that have to happen. We have to teach you how to learn how to open up to your right brain. If you do not open up to your right brain, we can talk till we're blue in the fucking face, and you will never, ever, 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 ever fucking understand what the concepts that I'm trying to teach you. The moment you open up to the right brain, you get it. It becomes crystal clear, obvious, and as easy as 1 + 1 = 2. Listen to a Benev right now. Do you remember when I said I grabbed a bottle, I used the cork, and I said, this is my entire course right here, and especially the techniques we're doing to let go. I go, here it is. Ready? Let go. I go, the reason why you're not opening up is because you're trying, which means you're pushing the door closed and you're holding it.
Yeah.
Now, at the time, I want to bring this up. Did a lot of the concepts that I taught you back then, like self-love, we'll talk about that in a second, did they seem really weird? Or did they seem like it doesn't make sense? Or it's not working?
Well, all of the above, actually, because they didn't make sense, and because of that, they didn't work. And it's like I thought the biggest thing for me was, the biggest hurdle was that I thought that I understood them. And for whatever reason, they just were not working. That was my biggest hang-up.
Right.
I really thought like I understood the internal awareness, letting go, and self-love, and this and that, but it just wasn't happening.
So the thing about it is when you are in your left brain, you can't understand a single word that someone's saying out of the right brain. And that's why it wasn't happening, because he wasn't letting go. Now, one of the techniques, and I'll go in depth during the course, but when you learn what I mean, see, I can do another Bruce Lee thing. Oh, let go, and then just walk away. And you're like, let go of what? What the fuck's he talking about? How? Like, what do you mean? And that's what I do. I go in depth on how to let go. It opens the door to your right brain, literally, physically, and neurologically. This is not just some airy-fairy, kind of sort of let go. No, I will give you a step-by-step pattern, a series of patterns that will show you how to let go. And when you do, you'll be like, oh shit, oh, I see what you mean now. Whereas, look, you can listen to people, like, especially when you just got to learn to let go. You just got to learn to open up. You just got to learn to receive. What the fuck does that even mean, number one? Number two, how, keyword, how. Right? You know, get a tattoo and tattoo that on your arm. How? That is the question to power. You want to change your life? You start asking how. You start learning the steps on how to do this. If people are, you just need to become a millionaire. How? Ask them. I mean, any dumbass can say, well, you just need to make a girl like you. How? And that's what I specialize in. So here's the deal, guys. This course is different than any pickup artist course, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to be really blunt and up front. It's at the opposite spectrum. This is a right brain teaching. Why? Because her mating system connects to her right brain. It's a communication center. Geez. But Mike, we want to learn about tips and openers. By the way, the words tips, openers, and lines are all left brain words. When you go into your pickup artist left brain, she has to follow you to her left brain, which means you just put yourself in the friend zone because now she's disconnected from her mating system. What you want to do is get her into her right brain. Now she's connected to her mating system, which means she's feeling emotions and romance for you and with you, which means she's getting turned on. Guess who teaches that? That's right, Mike Colleen in his course, Cracked Female Code. So number one of the reasons why it's really hard to market this is because this is a right brain process, which men, you don't really care. But you have to remember, her right brain is her home. Her right brain is where you connect to her sexuality. It's how you connect to her physically, sexually. It's how you connect to her emotions. Before a woman will make love to you, she has to feel an emotional connection. If she doesn't feel that, she's not going to have sex. The answers are in Cracked Female Code. The first step, buy my book, Cracked Female Code, at crackedfemalecode.com. Better yet, get the Ultimate Package, which has all my books, including Cracked Female Code, and it also includes an hour-and-a-half conversation with me, so you can ask any questions you have about the book. First, you have to at least read the book Cracked Female Code before we start that. I highly recommend you also read Get the Girl, Keep the Girl, because that talks and introduces you to the internal awareness techniques that I teach you that draw women to you. So number one, we're going to teach you how to open up to your right brain. Why? Because if you listen to this through your left brain, you're not going to hear what I'm saying. And then you're going to repeat it back to her from your left brain, and it's not going to work. We have to get you open to your right brain. And then you'll understand me. Number two, then we teach you how to feed it back to her from your right brain. Number one, right now, go to crackedfemalecode.com, buy my book, Cracked Female Code, or the Ultimate Package. Number two, after you read that, then you come back and we do the training in person, Cracked Female Code. Go to crackedfemalecode.com and I'll see you in the next training. Bye.